how do you take the emotion out of a week like this week going into a rivalry game?
I don't think you take the emotion out of it. You know, I think that's something that you have to keep them in check when you play, but I think that's something that helps fuel and what makes a rivalry good. You know, and I hope our guys, you know, come fired up. You know, the way the practices started this, you know, Monday and Tuesday, I think they've shown that they're excited, you know, and but again, within a rivalry game, it's also about keeping composure, and so you got to play smart, you got to execute, but having a little fire in the belly is a good thing.
What do you see when you look at the Louisville offense on tape?
Really efficient, you know, they understand who they are. They run the ball really well. The two backs are really, really talented, and really the third, you know, even four when he comes in. You know, the quarterback's playing at a high level. You see a comfort level. You see as the season's gone along, he's, you know, you can see sort of a development and an ease into his game. You know, he sort of lets it come to him right now. I think the receivers are smooth. They do a nice job catching the ball, you know, sort of away from their bodies, clean in and out of their breaks, nice routes. O-line works really well together, so that's why they've been successful.
Are they similar to anybody you've seen so far, style-wise?
Yeah, stylistically, you know, we've faced some outside zone teams, shot teams, you know, Missouri, a little bit of Florida, those kind of teams, you know, have, you know, some similarities in that regard. But they're their own system.
Brad, is everything that they want to do you feel like it kind of starts with that run game and all the play action and all the looks kind of comes off of that?
Yeah, you know, the run game, the RPOs, you know, that's sort of where it stems. But again, I think the receivers do a really nice job, you know, not just, you know, I talked about the route running, but then obviously the speed and the pace at which they play. And, you know, the ability to take the top off when they need to. And then they do a great job sitting down in their routes, you know, making you think they're about to take the top off, and then boom, they can hit a comeback. And all of a sudden it's a quick 10, 11, 12-yard gain. But yes, I think it starts with the run game and then progresses through their pass game, but both are equally efficient.
So for your defensive backs, what do you think the key is to that? Because you almost got to be ready for anything.
Yeah, I mean, that's what they have to do. They have to try to, you know, they have to play with clean eyes. You know, and I don't think, you know, we did at times on Saturday, but I didn't think our eyes were where they needed to be all the time. You know, in this kind of game, and you know, we already talked about the emotion that you have to play smart. You have to keep telling yourself over and over, you know, read my keys, put my eyes where they need to be. You know, where is my leverage? Where's my help? And, you know, too often this year, you know, we've cut off our help, you know, in the back end. And, you know, we've got helpers for guys, but if you don't play to that leverage, you know, you're doing yourself a disservice.
Brad, there was a stretch in last week's game that the defense looked to be executing as well as it had in a while, particularly into the second half when they were punting a lot. Are there things from the film that you could take and point to and say, "Got to see this is how it works when you're doing things"?
Yeah, you know, obviously, when things are going well, it's easy to point and say, "Hey, look, it's going well." When things are going bad, it's easy to point out the mistakes. You know, it's interesting. You know, even when things are going well, obviously there's mistakes, but individuals or a group of individuals can cover it up. You know, whether it's a pressure and a big sack, you know, that covers up maybe some looseness in the coverage, or, you know, a tight coverage, you know, makes up for a less than perfect, you know, stunt game, but it buys time for a guy to recover up front, and then he forces an incomplete pass, whatever the case may be. So it's those game of inches. I mean, even on that first drive, you know, we had two opportunities, you know, to get the quarterback, you know, on essentially the first third and long was a leverage issue. The second third and long, You know, we're walking into a sack and a guy just gets pushed by, another guy doesn't, you know, redirect off an internal tongue. Like we should be in great shape. They should be punting, but it doesn't happen. And so it's those are the things you try to instill in the guys that, hey, every little bit matters, and every part of the play matters. You know, we talk about, hey, you don't know which play it is that's going to make the difference. But within that entire play, like you could execute it 80% correct, but if you don't finish, it's the last 20%, the last 5%. If you don't finish the play, then it can get out on you. And you know, those are the plays this year that have gotten out on us, and those are the frustrating ones. But you got to learn from it, you grow from it, you keep trying to teach and point it out, and you know, hopefully, you know, it shows on Saturday.
When you evaluate the pass rush, have the shortcomings been more not finishing those plays, or just not winning one-on-ones to even get the pressure to begin with in this situation?
You know, obviously it's a little bit of both, but you know, obviously it stems from winning one-on-ones. I mean, and you know, that's where we have to be better. And you know, in a one-game season, you hope to be better just this week, and then you know, we can address that issue going forward. But we have to be better this week.
You played college ball with Chris Barclay.
I did, yeah.
What was he like, and what's it kind of like being on the opposite sidelines in a game such as this?
Yeah, it's he was a great player, and it'll be fun to go against him. You know, a really good human being. Obviously, he was a phenomenal player. You know, over 4,000 yards, I think over 40 touchdowns. But you know, the thing that you love most, and you know, when you look back and you have those relationships, is you know, the family that he has, and the wife and the kids, and so we always say all our we call them Deek Bros. You know, that we were all Deacon Deacons together, and we've been spread out across the country, and a lot have gotten into the coaching profession off those teams under Jim Grove. So really excited to see him, you know, before the game, and you know, hopefully after the game with a smile on their face.